Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching a clip from the Sideline podcast. If you're interested in watching the full show, head over to Spotify and whilst you're there, leave a 5-star review. It would be very much appreciated. But for now, enjoy this little segment. But the next one down, when it comes to football, the BALLON d'Or, one of the biggest individual awards a player could be awarded. Lionel Messi winning his fair share, Cristiano Ronaldo, you got Benzema winning his, Modric. There's been a lot of people that's won it. Just obviously Ronaldo, Messi's kind of been a bit selfish.
I mean, thing is, though, you look at the names who have won it. Like I'm just thinking off the top of my head, like Kaká, Brazilian Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, obviously Michael Owen, huge name. But yeah, like there's so anyone who's ever really been a player has won the Ballon d'Or. So yeah, it's pretty big.
It's like winning a Ballon d'Or is massive, and obviously it's probably lost its. I won't say lost its like gold. It's worth with Ronaldo and Messi winning it, because I bet Modric winning it when he did felt a lot more valuable than if a different player's winning it every year. But it does seem to be in the past like 10, 15 years, it's been predictable who's going to win it. It's going to be Ronaldo or Messi. Ronaldo or Messi. Obviously, Lewandowski should have won one. Got robbed of that because of COVID. But we're doing this a bit early. Normally, they do this later on in the year. Who do we think is going to win this year's Ballon d'Or? And I'm asking this because, yes, I know it's early, but like I was saying, I've been in some altercations on Twitter because I've got a little bit involved and shared my opinion, and people don't like my opinion. I don't like theirs, quite frankly. But I'll ask you and I'll share my opinion. So who do you think, first of all, who do you think should win the Ballon d'Or? And who do you think will win the Ballon d'Or? Because they are two questions that are possibly going to have a different answer.
January to December, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think this who should win it, but I think who will win it will probably be Messi.
Yep.
But I don't think he should win it. Not because I'm anti-Messi. I love Messi, like honestly, unbelievable player. But I mean, he just hasn't been as good for PSG, has he? So that's why I think he shouldn't win it. In terms of who do I think should genuinely win it, January again, we've still got like, I mean, it all depends obviously how August to like December goes as well.
Yep.
But who's had a great January to May?
It's hard because the past couple of years, nominations have been more team award. Like,
what about Saka? Saka, maybe.
No. The Ballon d'Or to me is an award that should be given to the best player of that year. So, do you think Saka's really been the best player this year so far?
Been pretty incredible.
Oh, it's been incredible. Like, I'm not denying that.
I can't think. I mean, Bellingham, but again, it's Dortmund. It's a poorer league. I can't actually think of many. If I'm honest, I'm genuinely struggling. I really haven't got a clue who.
I've got two that I think are solid.
Then again, Messi won the World Cup though. Oh, then again, he won it in December. So I don't know. Who do you think? I really haven't got. I'm struggling.
Two names that I think should win it, but I don't think they've got any chance while Lionel Messi's still playing.
Alexander Isaac,
Erling Haaland. First year in the Premier League, scoring 50+ goals. Winning. I know winning the treble shouldn't be included because it's more of a team thing, but you can't.
Someone was better.
Because you can't deny it. In his first season in the Premier League as well. And then second name, I think it's a bit more of a debatable one, and I don't want to say it with the amount of news that's coming out recently about him, but Kylian Mbappe. If we're going off, Lionel Messi should win it because he had an incredible World Cup and he won it. Kylian Mbappe was the best player throughout that tournament. Unfortunately not to win it in the final. So, and Mbappe's been the better player at PSG.
I don't think the World Cup should matter though, because it was December.
No, but that's where fans of Lionel Messi. Let's be honest, it's where fans of Lionel Messi are going. Well, I feel horrible saying this, but people that don't watch football because of football, they just watch it because of Messi.
I really don't know. Like I get the whole Mbappe and Haaland thing, but again, it's going back to what we spoke about when we were going through our striker list. Like for me, I don't know. I guess in terms of the best player. I said that Osimhen would score more goals than Haaland at City, and I still think he would. But Osimhen's never going to win it. I really, really don't know. In terms of like impact on a team, obviously Arsenal have been nowhere near for years, so potentially Saka. I'm even thinking Kvaratskhelia because he's so young and has led Napoli to the title alongside Osimhen. I don't think any of them will ever win it. Well, they won't win it this year. Because it doesn't fit the Ballon d'Or mould, does it? Let's face it, it is very political and it is very who's the biggest name in football almost, or who's the most like
100%.
marketable or reputable player. So when Benzema won it, obviously Benzema's an unbelievable striker. I think I put him fourth or something. Even now at 35, 36, and his adaptability through the years has been incredible. But he won it because at that time he was the most reputable and marketable player. And I think a lot of the time we just look at ratings on FIFA. I know that sounds stupid, but I'm sure they just do because they'll look at you look at who's won the Ballon d'Or and you look at the ratings on FIFA. It's always been a 90 rated player, which is nuts, especially recently with like FIFA becoming huge and the whole FIFA Ultimate Team thing around that. But no, in terms of who I should think win it, I'm going to put three up there: Osimhen, Kvaratskhelia, and I'm going to take Saka out. I don't think he's been huge, but potentially somewhat again. I know what I'm just going to stick with Kvaratskhelia and Osimhen. I'm trying to think of centre halves, but we're struggling for centre halves, aren't we? In terms of who is quality.
Yeah, centre half's a sticky one, isn't it?
I'm trying to not just think of forwards because I know like when I was 2006, Cannavaro won the Ballon d'Or, which was amazing at the time because he lifted the World Cup with Italy. He was like unstoppable for a period. Puyol definitely should have had one, and it does kind of favour, or the award seems to favour attacking players. So I'm trying to think. I know Modric won one, but he's still creating assists. I can't. I think the only defender or the last defender to win it was Cannavaro. I don't think a goalkeeper's ever won it. I think Buffon finished second once. So I'm trying to think of. I mean, Ter Stegen, 100%, didn't he? He was literally one game away from breaking the clean sheet record in number of hours without conceding and stuff for Barcelona.
Yashin won Ballon d'Or. That's the only goalkeeper to win it.
Okay, but again, like someone like Ter Stegen should win it. So in terms of my shoulds, Ter Stegen, Osimhen, Kvaratskhelia. In terms of who I think will win it, it'll probably be someone with a really high reputation, somebody who is really marketable. Either Messi. I don't think Ronaldo will win it because he went to Saudi Arabia, and the whole human rights thing will probably raise its head. Don't get me started on that after this week of transfer news with Newcastle. But yeah, I think probably Messi. Modric will probably be in there again. But I think it's Messi's. I really do think I think Messi's going to win it. I don't think he should though.
No, I think Messi will win it, and it's just I do just want to say, by the way, it's not because I prefer Ronaldo. If Ronaldo were in the same situation that Messi's in, I said Ronaldo shouldn't win it. Like, it's not whether I prefer Messi or Ronaldo. It's just the fact that Messi should he had a great World Cup, and I'm so glad he won it because he deserved it. But for one, he wasn't even the best player in the World Cup. Two, he's not even had that great year compared to other people. Mbappe, Haaland, Osimhen. Like, he's been nothing compared to that. And Ballon d'Or to me is the best individual player of that year. Which to me is...
Yeah. The thing for me as well, like Messi's went to a so-called worst league, the PSG, when he was at Barcelona. He was obviously in the Spanish league. And he's not really doing what he did in the Spanish. I know he's getting older, but you'd think if you go into a so-called worst league or a lower... a league with a lower reputation, that he would maybe do a little bit better. But he hasn't really lit it up at PSG. I know he's still got relatively good numbers, but in terms of what we come to expect from him, he is on the decline. But Mbappe isn't really shining in the French league either, so that's why I feel like Mbappe shouldn't be up there. Because
my only reason
Haaland should be up there, even though I stand by. I did put him number 2 or the second best striker in the world, obviously on my last episode, but Haaland should be up there. Because again, he's in terms of his first season and stuff and what he's done, he's been unbelievable. But I don't know. I just wish they would go for like a defensive midfielder and don't say Declan Rice. My God. But like, try and stay away from strikers. Like, go for defenders, go for fullbacks, go for goalkeepers. But I guess centre halves is difficult because there's not. We've been seeing on about 10 of these 13 episodes in season 1, we've been seeing that there's no good centre halves around anymore.
No, to be fair, when you actually try and think of a centre half or a defender that deserves a Ballon d'Or this year, it's hard to pick any out.
Oh my God, John Stones! I can't believe I'm saying that.
Oh, John Stones is definitely a shout.
He was unbelievable. Like, he literally stepped into midfield and looked like. And I'm not saying this right because I'm like a John Stones or Man City fanboy. If anybody's like, I haven't really shared my opinion much on John Stones. I'm shocked I'm saying this. I can't believe I'm actually saying John Stones potentially for a Ballon d'Or. It sounds crazy in my head because I've probably been one of his biggest critics in the past, especially for England, and especially when he was getting touted as like this unbelievable superstar. But in terms of this year, like he's been unbelievable. He stepped into midfield. He's looked really good at centre half finally. But that Champions League final performance, I mean, oh my god! Like, do you know when I said to you about the Declan Rice debate? Performance, well, I'll remember John Stones' performance in the Champions League final for a long time because he was so impressive in midfield.
Me and you were texting our way through that game, and we said he was the best player on pitch.
I couldn't believe it. I genuinely couldn't believe it was the same guy I used to watch who was like, he's always had this reputation for being good on the ball, but I remember when he first came into the England squad, he looked really nervous on it. And he was like giving it away, or he was miscontrolling it. I was like, this guy isn't what people are making out. And then he went to City. Well, I think he was at City at the time, or he just went to City. He was in and out of the team. He couldn't really hold down a place. He got caught out defensively quite a bit. And then the guy I watched in the Champions League final, and to be fair, Man City towards from like what, February, March onwards, when Stones was playing quite regular, I couldn't believe it was the same guy I was watching. He has come on so much, and he, for me, would be in with a shout in terms of deserves at least to finish in the top 5. But he probably won't even get in the top 10, would he? Because it'll be all the, like I said, the high marketable, reputable players.
Yeah. Stones for us were incredible. I mean, he was solid. To say he was young as well, signing from Barnsley, like incredible on ball, and he was sensational for us. When we got that £50 million from City, it were a bit like, because it's very rare we see those kind of numbers. But he was sensational for us, and then obviously he wasn't that great when he first came into City, but he's developed incredibly well. But yes, Stones is a good shout. I'll tell you what then, to make it a little bit more interesting, shall we do a Ballon d'Or nominee for each part of the pitch? So goalkeeper, a defender, a midfielder, and an attacker.
Ooh, you're catching us off guard here. I haven't planned anything.
I've just thrown this on spot. I've thrown this out there. We've not even prepped for this because I feel like we are just saying attackers, and I feel like we should give every other part of the pitch a chance. So I think goalkeeper we can both agree on. There's no point discussing that. Ter Stegen.
Yeah, he's
incredible.
He's finally turned into the key. I know he's always had a good rep, but he's finally like come into the very rare like grasp of the Petr Cechs and
because he only conceded 16 goals, I think it was last season, which is incredible, beating Oblak's record that before that. So so Ter Stegen goalkeeper, defender. This is where it were a bit, but now you have said John Stones. I don't think you can argue anyone else. I mean, Michael Keane's he scored that goal against Tottenham, so he deserves a shout.
To be honest, I can't believe, again, I don't really mean this, but like in terms of centre halves, I know I put him in my Premier League team of the season, but like Fabian Schär, and you did actually as well.
I did, yeah.
So it's not just me, but he wouldn't be up for a Ballon d'Or because he hasn't really went to that level in terms of the Champions League, whereas John Stones has just stood out on the highest level. So yeah, I think it's probably got to be John Stones for defender, Ter Stegen for
Stones. Midfield. I think there's multiple for this, It depends what you want to go for. You've had Bellingham that's had...
Are we going for like midfielders and forwards? So like wingers are included in forwards.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So your midfielders are your defensive, attacking, and your central midfielders.
Oh, 100. I've got mine.
Mine's between 2.
I've got mine. Martin Odegaard.
Okay, it's between 3.
Odegaard has been... I know, again, it's Premier League and was only Ter Stegen who's made outside of the Prem, but I feel like the Prem has been... We had the debate, obviously previously, about is the Premier League the best league in the world, and I said it wasn't. But in terms of this season, I think consistently it's not, but in terms of this season, it's probably been one of its best years. Just with Arsenal shaking things up with City, even though City ended up winning it. Obviously the top 6 getting completely shook up with Villa, Brighton, Newcastle. So I feel like all the reasons why I said the Premier League wasn't the best league in the world, like it flipped for it to be the best league in the world for this season, which has just happened. So that's why I'm probably going with 2 Premier League players in there. But yeah, for me, Odegaard, midfielder, Ballon d'Or shout.
Mine's between 3, I think.
Go on then.
So Odegaard, I'm going to completely agree with, and I think I am going to go him because of the leadership he's shown at a young age, what he's gone through throughout his career. Sociedad, Real Madrid, getting pushed away, pushed aside. He's not going to become what people expect, and he's just being sensational. I think Kevin De Bruyne deserves a shout. I think he's been, yet again, for like the 6th, 7th year, consistently incredible. There's nothing you can really. I mean, it's a bit gutted that he got injured in Champions League final,
Yeah.
but still incredible. And then my third one is Jude Bellingham. And I know people might say he may
Has he
not.
had a particularly good season though? I know Munich ended up tipping to the league.
Yeah,
but
he had an incredible season in terms of like fulfilling his position incredibly well for Dortmund. He added that bit of solidity in the midfield that Dortmund struggled for years. They've not had that solid bloke that can transition from defence to attack, that can do both jobs, that can score goals, fancy footwork, and then come back and do all the dirty work. He's done that incredibly well and fully deserved his move to Real Madrid. But I think he is who I would put forward, but I don't think who I think should win it. I think he will be the next couple.
I think your three are good, but I would take Bellingham out and put in Gundogan. Because Gundogan's been exceptional this year in terms of becoming captain, scoring hugely important goals. Like it felt like the last 10 games of the Premier League season, he just couldn't stop scoring from midfield.
If you're going from March to June, yes.
But you're including Jan and Feb.
Yeah.
Was Bellingham that much better than Gundogan in January and February? Well, I don't know. To be fair, I think with German League, I normally do watch quite a bit of it, but I've probably watched the German League the least, tied with the French League this year. I've mainly been.
I've watched more of the German League this year. That's because I've loved watching players like Bellingham. Like he's just. Yeah. I mean, it kills to me. He's like 2 years younger than me, but
I think I'm going to stand by Odegaard for mine because he's just. I saw him. I had a different seat at the Arsenal Newcastle game. I moved seats. It was a better seat than where I normally sit. And just being that close to like how good he was, just honestly, we couldn't get near him. Nobody could get near. He was just even Joe Linton, who is unbelievable, it's the first midfield I've seen Joe Linton struggle with. He was just
his intelligence off the ball is like second to none as well. By the way, doesn't even need a ball to dictate a game. Like that's how incredible he is. But so we've got Ter Stegen, Stones, Odegaard, attacker. For me,
as if we've agreed on it. It's another moment in season 1 where I've changed your mind.
To be fair, you didn't really change my mind with goalkeeper, defender. Them two were. Yeah, Odegaard. Yeah, 100%. So attacker, I'll get mine out there because I think it's obvious. I'm gonna go Erling Haaland. I've said the reasons why. And there's nothing else to be said. It's just Erling Haaland.
Yeah, I still think I won't go into it too much because it was the last episode. But like I say, I'm probably going to go Osimhen. But Osimhen can't keep up with Haaland's numbers because, like I say, if Haaland gets 120 chances in a season and scores 40, he has still missed like 80 chances. Whereas Osimhen might only get 60 chances in a season and score 30, which is obviously less, but he's only missed 30 chances. So in my opinion, that makes a better striker. It's not necessarily just numbers. So for that reason and that very short version of it, if you want to hear my full reason, go back to the last episode. But I'm probably going to go Osimhen. I just feel like to fire Napoli under that much pressure, first league win in 30 years. Again, when he first came in, he didn't hit the ground running. People were doubting, the transfer because he had a really good season at Lille, and then all of a sudden he took Napoli from like 7th to top, and I think he won the league by about 10 or 11 points or something incredible like that. So yeah, I'd probably go. Kvaratskhelia was great, but I feel like Osimhen's just a little bit more well-rounded at the moment. But to be honest, Kvaratskhelia a bit better. But yeah, Osimhen for me for striker.
So mine, Stegen, Stones, Odegaard, Haaland.
Mine exactly the same, other than Osimhen for a striker. Yeah,
solid. Messi doesn't. I'll say this now, and we'll end this part off by saying Messi should be nowhere near the Ballon d'Or this year. Like I said, I do just want to say it's not because I'm against Messi. It's because I'm not. I love Messi, incredible player, and I've got an Inter Miami shirt coming very soon, so I can't wait to get that. But like I say, if Ronaldo's in that boat, if Tony Ibbett's in that boat, I'm saying the exact same thing.